على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اتبع هداه. أما بعد, alhamdulillah, brothers, this is the next class in our readings from the explanation of Shaykh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymeen rahmatullah alayh, rahmatan wasi'ah, his explanation of Matan al-Ajurrumiyyah. Ibn al-Ajurrum, he has this very famous, well-known text in regards to the Arabic language, particularly grammar and Nahu, which is known as Nahu, and Al-I'rab is what relates to Nahu, the meanings which are found in a word based upon the sign at the end of the word, the vowel letter at the end of the word, whether it's a Dhamma, whether it's a Fatha, whether it's a Kasra, and whether it's Dhammatani, two Dhammas, or Kasratani, two Kasras, or Fathatani, two Fathas. Jayyid. So we reached the point so far where Ibn al-Ajurrum, he speaks about the signs of I'rab. Now, in the previous lessons, let's say approximately page 47, or rather before that, 45, Ibn al-Ajurrum, rahimahullah, he says, وَأَقْسَامُهُ أَرْبَعَةٌ. وَأَقْسَامُهُ أَرْبَعَةٌ. This who, what does it go back to, my brothers? You can just very quickly tell me, inshallah. Wa alaikum salam, Abu Ubaidullah. Ahsant. It goes back to al-i'rab. وَأَقْسَامُ الْإِعْرَابِ أَرْبَعَةٌ. Okay. And Shaykh explains it explicitly here. He says, أَقْسَامُ الْإِعْرَابِ أَرْبَعَةٌ. This is known from the extensive exposure that the ulama had of the language and the time that they gave in order to research the language and to discover within it all of the intricacies, and they realized and recognized that there are only four ways that a word could end. Either it's going to be, what are those four? If you could very quickly remind me. What are the four alamat al-i'rab? The four ways that a word can end. It can either be, it can either end with raf', yes, or it can end with nasb, ahsant, or with khafd, or with jazm, ahsantum. Ahsantum ya ikhwan. Barakallahu feek. And here they are. Shaykh mentions them: raf'un, wa nasbun, wa khafdun, wa jazmun. Jayyid. Wa jazmun. So these are the four alamat al-i'rab, and the Shaykh spoke about them in some detail, and then he spoke also about some exceptions, and that was the Shaykh spoke about the difference between mu'rab and mabni. There were some words that finish with a dhamma all the time, some finish with a fatha all the time, some finish with a kasra, some finish with a sukoon, but they're not, these endings are not from i'rab. So if they're not from i'rab, my brothers, what are they? If they're not from i'rab, then what are they? Absolutely, the opposite of i'rab. The opposite of mu'arab, which is mabni. The opposite of i'rab, which is bina. Ahsant ya Hussein. Jayyid. Ahsantum ya ikhwan. So the opposite of i'rab is bina. The opposite of mu'arab is mabni. So the Arabic language is the nouns and the verbs and the huruf, these three main parts, aspects of the Arabic language that we identified earlier in the book. Some of them are mu'arab and some of them are mabni. Jayyid. From the three categories of ism, fi'l and harf, is there any one of these three categories in which all of them are mabni? From the three aspects of the Arabic language, is anything which is all mabni? Ahsant Ayub. Ahsantum. La, Akhi Abu Abdullah. Get the question, yeah? The question asked was, from the three categories of the Arabic language, which is فعل اسم وفعل وحرف جاء لمعنى. Yes, you remember أخي Abu Abdullah, you remember? اسم وفعل وحرف. These are the three aspects of the Arabic language. So what I asked was, which of these three, or does any of these three completely include mabni? Is there one of these three categories which is all mabni? And the answer, yes, it is correct. No, it is harf. It is harf. جيد. أخي مزمل, if you could, inshallah, جزاك khair, as you administrate in the class. If you notice that someone turns up even with a sister's name or something like that, you can measure them, inshallah, on the side. I'm sure they have the mahram with them, but just ask them to log back in with the mahram's name. Allah barak fik. Sorry, Akhi Ubaidullah, I'm not sure why that's happening. Any other brothers have a problem? How's the sound, my brothers? Are the sound going okay? My audio quality says that it's excellent. Okay, my internet connection is clear. Alright, so maybe just have a look at your system, maybe your internet connection or something, other settings. جيد. So all of the huruf are mabniyah. جيد. The next question is, are there any of these three categories? Well, it can't be the three categories now because the ism is out of it. Sorry, the harf is out of it. Can we say from the asma and the af'al, are any of these two categories, ism and fi'l, all mu'rab? Are any of the categories of the Arabic language all mu'rab? No. Why not? In general terms and in simple terms, why not? Because جيد. أحسنتم, because there are some which are mabni within the asma, and there are some which are mabni within the af'al. أحسنتم. جيد. أحسنتم Abdullah. Only the words which are mu'arab, they are the ones which are mu'arab, absolutely. And there are other words which are mabni, as the brothers are talking about, and they're talking about the exceptions. أحسنتم. جيد. So therefore we can conclude that the majority of the asma are mu'rabah, and the majority of the af'al are mu'rabah, and there are some af'al which are mabniyah. Well, let's say, for example, one of the brothers mentioned it earlier. Which one is fi'l madi? Ahsant, fi'l madi. All of fi'l madi is mabni. جيد. All of fi'l madi is mabni. And we spoke about, Sheikh spoke about mabni ala fatha, if there's no dhamir attached to it. Mabni ala sukoon, if there is a dhamir attached to it, which is dhamir, the dhamir muttasil للفاعل المفرد, singular dhamir. ذهبت. As for if the dhamir was waw al-jama'ah, ذهبوا. ذهبوا. What's the last letter of fi'l madi in this case? Which letter is it? ذهبوا. The last letter is of the actual verb. Of the actual verb, the last letter is the ba. جيد. The waw after that is dhamir. Is the dhamir. And the alif also has a different significance, maybe to separate or to show that it's the end of that word and the beginning of the next word. So ذهبوا, the end of the last letter of the verb, the original verb, is the ba. ذهب originally. So in this case we say مبني فعل ماضي مبني على ضمة. مبني على ضمة اتصاله بواو الجماعة, because it joined to واو الجماعة. So أحسنت أخي أبو عبد الله, it's مبني على ضمة. So anyway, in any case, فعل, the أفعال, most of them are mu'araba, and there are some exceptions, which is the fi'l madi. And as for the asma, and there are many exceptions, as one of the brothers just mentioned a minute ago, isma al-ishara, هذا وهذه وتلك وذلك وتلك, and the others. and الضمائر أحسنت, and the أسماء الاستفهام جيد, and there are some exceptions in that as well. In any case, the idea is clear that most cases of أسماء and أفعال, they are مبنية, they are معربة, أفعال معربة. And the Sheikh also spoke about الحروف العلة جيد. Where did he speak about it? Where did the Sheikh speak about the حروف العلة and the signs which appear on them? Is that previous to this? Oh, sorry, my mistake. That was previous. That wasn't the previous parts. Before speaking about the Aqsam al-I'rab, that was when the Shaykh was speaking generally, yes, Bab al-I'rab. How that I'rab refers to the ending of the difference between Taqdiri and Laghwi. A change which is physically visible and that which is assumed. And that because it's an alif, or as you guys said now, the huruf al-illa. Jayid. So let's move on now. Basically now, Ibn al-Ajurrum, then he speaks about how to recognize or how to express rafa, and how to express nasb, how to express khafd, and how to express jazm. Okay? So he says, he says, للرفع أربع علامات. للرفع أربع علامات أصلية نعم جيد أصلية عفوا أصلية أن نائبة. This is Shaykh Uthaymeen's verse. Ibn al-Ajurrum said للرفع أربع علامات: الضمة والواو والألف والنون. جيد. That is, these are the words of Ibn al-Ajurrum. Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen explains to us what Ibn al-Ajurrum means by these words. So the first thing that he says is للرفع أربع علامات. There are four ways, four signs, there are four ways that a rafa' will be expressed at the end of a word. Shaykh Uthaymeen says some of these expressions or some of these ways of ending a word in rafa' are the original way of doing so, which is known as asliya, and then there are what is known as naibah, which is that which comes in place of the original sign, that which represents the original sign. It's not the original. The original sign is the asliya, al-alama al-asliya. Somebody skip the page. Let's come back to where we were. Al-alama al-asliya. جيد. العلامة الأصلية is the dhamma. Okay. Anyway, Ibn al-Ajurrum says أربع علامات. There are four ways of knowing al-rafa'. Shaykh Uthaymeen says from these four, some are asliya, some are na'iba. Asliya, these are the original signs. Na'iba, these are the representatives or the offshoots of the original sign. So far so clear, brothers? So far so good, inshallah? Good, alhamdulillah. Saying clear? Oh, you was clear? Anyone have issues with that so far? It's quite simple, right? The way of knowing a word is marfu', it ends in one of four ways. Shaykh Uthaymeen says, just for your information's sake, we should tell you that amongst these four ways, there are those endings which are known as al-alama al-asliyah, which is the original way of expressing a marfu' kalima, and which basically is the dhamma that Shaykh is going to tell us. Okay? And the others, they are all signs of expressing marfu', all signs of expressing rafa', but they are not the asli, the original ways of doing so. These are known as na'ibah. Okay, representatives of the original way. This is just a classification, let's say a technical classification, which it may or may not come in handy at this stage. But in any case, let's know about the categorizations. Ibn al-Ajurrum says, after saying that there are four, he mentions the four. Ad-dhammatu wal-waw wal-alifu wal-noon. That means that sometimes you will see a word and you will say وَعَلَامَةُ رَفْعِهِ الضَّمَّةِ. Other times you will see a word, you will say وَعَلَامَةُ رَفْعِهِ الْوَاوِ. Sometimes you will say وَعَلَامَةُ رَفْعِهِ الْأَلِفِ. Sometimes you will say وَعَلَامَةُ رَفْعِهِ النُّونِ. Okay? The presence of the noon, of thubut and noon. Clear, brothers? Without the detail so far, it's clear? Because now you have to be clear, because the Shaykh is going to go into detail now, so we have to understand what we are basing our knowledge on. Is that clear that there are four ways of expressing al-rafa'? Dhamma, waw, alif, and noon. Tell me that you're okay with that. I'm only getting a few okays, like 3 or 4. The others maybe they're just like on the sidelines, just listening in and hoping they're going to grasp something. You're welcome to do that, inshallah. Okay. So he says, أربع علامات. This is Shaykh Uthaymeen's word explanation. أربع علامات, 4 signs. الضمة هي الأصل. This is the main way. والباقي نيابة عن الضمة. All of the others, they are representatives of the dhamma. Meaning the waw, the alif, and the noon. These are representatives of the dhamma. So the dhamma, this is the main way of expressing rafa'. جيد. So the asl, the Shaykh says, فالأصل إذن أن الرفع يكون بالضمة. That the rafa' is going to be expressed with the dhamma. You say محمد زيد بكر خالد. محمد, this ism is مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة. زيد علامة رفعه الضمة. بكر علامة رفعه الضمة. Okay, جيد. Over here, okay, it looks like in the print which has been scanned and uploaded, at least what I'm seeing on the screen right now, is that that there are some words which are published in red in the book. So in front of me I have the book. They're published in red, and it looks like in this gap here, this gap here, this gap here, that the red writing has not showed up. Okay? Textbooks. So over here, Shaykh Uthaymeen says, goes al-waw. That's what goes over here. He puts a waw over here. The problem now is that that's like taking the space of the other line. Please. Muzammil, can you help me out here? Maybe can we keep that writing there and hide the rest of the stuff? جيد. So Shaykh Uthaymeen says, الواو أيضا تكون علامة للرفع. The waw is also a sign of the rafa', of being rafa'. لكن نيابة عن الضمة. But it is a representative of the dhamma. Okay, it's not the main sign. جيد. Back. Lost the text. Inshallah, hopefully it's coming back in a second. Are you brothers seeing something that says loading? Like me? My text has disappeared. You can see the text? Okay. I can't see anything. I can see al-waw only, but I can't see the actual page where the text of the book. It's gone to page 100 for some reason. We don't want that. That's why it's loading. That's fine. Somehow it skipped to page 100. We don't need page 100. Okay, so Ibn Uthaymeen says, الواو أيضا تكون علامة للرفع لكن نيابة عن الضمة. Very important. نيابة عن الضمة. It is a representative of the dhamma. تقول, find it. Have the text. Have this. No, we don't need that. There you go. So we're speaking about the waw. The Shaykh explaining to us about the waw. So he says the waw is a sign of being marfu' and it takes the place of the dhamma. تقول مثلا, you say for example, جاء المسلمون. جاء المسلمون. Okay, جاء, what is that, my brothers? Is it اسم, is it فعل? It's فعل and it's ماضي and it's مبني على, it's a فعل يا أخي and أحسنت and it's مبني على فتحة and it's مبني على فتحة. جاء. طيب, let me say المسلمون. Okay, so the verb that comes after the fi'l, usually that is who or what, that is known as, do you know? It's the fa'il, the one who's doing the action. Very often and mainly, when the name, the noun that comes after the verb, this is the fa'il, the doer, the one who's doing the action. Jayyid. And what is the ruling of i'rab as it relates to the fa'il? You say the fa'il is not mansoob, marfu'. Ahsanta you. The fa'il is marfu'. That's the ruling. Okay, Abu Abdullah? حكم الفاعل أنه مرفوع. جيد نهاية. Okay, so جاء المسلمون, the Muslims came. See, we know that Muslimun is the fa'il, but there's no dhamma. What is the sign that represented the dhamma in this case that showed us that this word is marfu'? It's the waw. Okay? So the waw here, this is a representative of the dhamma in normal cases. Symptom. So you say, وعلامة رفعه الواو نيابة عن الضمة. جيد. الواو نيابة عن الضمة, in place of the dhamma. Okay. Then Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah, down here, the next line says, al-alif. He says, al-alif. Okay? Please. Al-alif. So he says over here, al-alif, al-alif تكون أيضا نيابة عن الضمة. Example, قام الرجلان. قام is فعل ماضي الرجلان. How many people stood up? Qama means that means stood. Text is not visible. Can some other, is the text visible, brothers? Can you see the text? Okay, I think this chopping and changing is disturbing it for some, but the text is reappeared on the screen right now. So could be, again, sometimes the internet connection in some places slower than others, and that disturbs the presentation of the text. So Shaykh Uthaymeen says that al-alif is niyaba. Qama ar-rajulani. Okay, as somebody just said over here, that refers to, as Abu Abdullah said, two people. Now this is known as al-muthanna. Al-muthanna, two people. Jayyid. So qama ar-rajulani, the two people stood. The two men rather, the two men stood. What is the sign in this word that is showing that it is marfu'? As the Shaykh said, speaking about the alif. Ahsantum. Tayyib. Wa alamatu. So we say, qama fi'l madi mabniyun ala al-fathi ar-rajulani fa'ilun marfu'un وعلامة رفعه الألف نيابة عن الضمة. نيابة عن الضمة. جيد. الشيخ says الرجلان فاعل مرفوع ليس فيه ضمة لكن الألف نيابة عن الضمة. Okay. And the third example, another text box over here. Ibn Uthaymin rahimahullah, he says, Noon. That's what he's discussing here now. The example of Noon, تقول الرجال يقومون. الرجال يقومون. In the first example, جاء المسلمون. This was a sentence that started with a verb. Yes? جملة فعلية حسين أحسنت. And the second example, قام الرجلان. Again, a sentence that started with a verb. جملة فعلية. جملة فعلية, both of them. This example here, الرجال يقومون, starts with a noun. Starts with a noun. So if if it starts with a noun, this is known as جملة أحسنت حسين. جملة اسمية. It's a nominal sentence, or a sentence that starts with a noun. جيد. جملة اسمية. A sentence that starts with a noun is called جملة اسمية. A sentence that starts with a verb is known as جملة فعلية. جيد. So الرجال starts with a noun. جملة اسمية always starts with a مبتدأ. جيد. Unless there is a harf which came before it. Okay. Which gives it some variation, which definitely we're going to come to, inshallah. So, it's mubtada. What is the hukum of the mubtada? What's the ruling of the mubtada as it relates to i'rab? We know about the ruling of the fa'il. Fa'il is marfu'. The ruling of the mubtada with a hamza on the end of it, on ayn. Okay, my brothers? Please don't get mixed up. I know that, mashallah, tabarakallah, the Salafi is prepared with the words defense of bid'ah and mubtadi'. You know, nothing to do with what we are studying right now. This word is a different word from bada'a, beginning. It began. Mubtada, meaning the beginning of the sentence. Not mubtadi' with an ayn on the end of it, which comes from bid'ah. Okay, bid'ah, which is an innovation or a newly invented matter. Please don't get the issues mixed up, inshallah. Now, I sent one finishes with the Hamza and the other one with an Ain. Brother Hussein, Jazakallah khair. Okay, so Shaykh Uthaymeen says, example of a noon as a sign of what? As a sign of, complete my sentence, inshallah. As a sign of Raf, Ahsantuma is the noon. Example, الرجال يقومون. الرجال يقومون. طيب. So, الرجال, this is مبتدا مرفوع. الرجال مبتدا مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة في آخره. جيد. It's the apparent or the visible dhamma that you can see at the end of the word. And then you have this word here, يقومون. يقومون. This is a verb. This is a فعل. This is فعل مضارع. فعل مضارع. أيوة. علامة رفعه النون نيابة عن الضمة. أحسنت أخي الكريم. So فعل مضارع and the فعل مضارع is مرفوع. Why is it marfu'? What are the options that any fi'l can be? Let me ask you a quick question. Any fi'l, what are the options of i'rab, not of bina? What are the options of i'rab that a fi'l can be? It can either be, it can be majzoom, mansoob, or it can be marfu'. Can it be makhfood with a jar? No. أحسنتم. Why not? أيوة أحسنت أيوب. Because khafd jar is a sign from the particular signs of an ism. So then how could it be from the signs of a verb? Absolutely not. Because even al-Ajurru mentioned at the beginning that من علامات الأسماء الخفض. أحسنتم جميعا. So from the علامات الإعراب of the fi'l is it can be marfu', can be mansoob, can be majzoom. As you're going to see soon, the alamat al-asliya of the alamat al-asliya of mansoob is the fatha, and the alamat al-asliya of the majzoom is the sukoon. So a verb is either going to be مرفوع منصوب ومجرور عفوا مجزوم عفوا يا اخوان. It's either going to be مرفوع منصوب or مجزوم. طيب the فعل. But the asl is that a verb is مرفوع. A word when it enters into the arena, it comes as marfu'. A noun, when it enters into the arena, it comes as marfu'. The verb, when it enters into the arena, into the sentence, it comes as marfu'. It only changes if there is a reason for it to change, meaning something changed it. I'm not speaking about the linguistic or dialectical changes here. We're speaking about the changes of positioning in the sentence, being preceded by another letter, lan, for example, which makes it mansoob, or lam, for example, which makes the verb majzoom. So if there's no reason for a verb to change into mansoob or majzoom, so what will it remain as? It will always remain as ahsant. Abu Abdullah, it will always remain as marfu'. You're following me? Good, Allah yabarak feek. So, therefore, this verb here, yaqumuna, there's nothing there's no reason why it is being given a state to change. It's not changed into anything. So therefore it's marfu. Shaykh Uthaymeen says, هذا فعل مضارع مرفوع. What is the sign of its being مرفوع? وعلامة رفعه النون. علامة رفعه النون. Here is the noon. أحسنتم. There's the at the end. That is the alamatul rafa. Okay? Which actually means, interesting, pay attention to this point, because which means that in a verb like yakumuna, when it is not marfu', the noon is going to disappear. And the alamatu nasbihi, or the alamatu afwan jazmihi, is going to be hadfun noon, the absence of the noon. That noon is not going to change into a kaf or into a lam or a ya or something. It's just going to disappear. And then the linguists, they say, وَعَلَامَةُ نَصْبِهِ حَذْفُ النُّونِ, the disappearance and the removal of the noon. وَعَلَامَةُ جَزْمِهِ, also they'll say, حَذْفُ النُّونِ, the disappearance and the removal of the noon. So the existence and the presence of the noon over there, that is the sign of being marfu'. I'm just giving you a tip and a heads up of what's going to come as it relates to the signs of Hussein Nam. Like lam yakumu. Lam is a harf jazm. It's a harf which is going to make the next verb have jazm on the end of it. And the jazm usually is a sukoon. But in the case of a verb like yakumuna, then the noon disappears. You say lam yakumu. And the same for the mansoob, lan, which is harfu nasb, lan yakumu. جيد. Then Sheikh concludes, إذن الرفع له 4 علامات. الرفع has 4 signs: ضمة, واو, وألف, ونون. أي نعم. الشيخ asked the question: أي هذه العلامات الأصل؟ نعم يا إخوة، أي هذه العلامات الأصل؟ الضمة. أحسنت أيوب، سبقت الجميع، وحسين جاء بعدك مباشرة. الضمة. Which of these signs are the original sign? Mujahid is longing to go and see Sheikh Muqbil, rahimahullah. It was to Dammaj. No, he's not there. He's not there. Afwan is a typo. Good, Ahsan. He's just joking with you. Right? You wrote Dammaj instead of Dhamma, but that's fine. Rahmatullah ala ulama'ina. جيد. So the علامة الأصلية is the Dhamma. والباقي, Sheikh says, نيابة عنها. نيابة عنها. Okay, that's been 38 minutes now of our class, and because of the new class starting tomorrow, which is Medina Book 1, you may have heard that we're reducing this class to once a week and adding 10 minutes onto it, inshallah, which means though we would normally finish at 40 minutes, we're going to finish at 50 minutes, inshallah. But do we go forward? We can go forward, inshallah. Unless you brothers have some questions, we can go forward and start to read some of what the Shaykh has said over here. موادع الضمة. Okay. Now, Ibn al-Ajurrum, he starts to talk about when to use the dhamma, which is the alama asliya, when to use the dhamma. So he said, أما الضمة, as for the dhamma, which is the first of the 4, فتكون علامة للرفع في 4 مواضع. It is going to be a sign of marfu' in 4 places. My brothers, pay attention to this intricate point. أما okay فأما الضمة as for the dhamma the jawab of amma will always start with a fa. What's this fa doing here? It's related to amma. Prophet ﷺ would say أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله أليس كذلك؟ أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله. Okay, so the fa, this is the jawab of amma. Said Imran, that's the correct answer. Bala. If you say na'am, when I say alaysa kadhalik, and you say na'am, this means na'am laysa kadhalik. You're affirming the negative. That's why the correct answer for alaysa kadhalik is to agree, you say bala. It means that you're in agreement with the negation. Different to other languages. In English, for example, you say, is that not the case? You say yes, meaning yes, that's not the case. If you say no, that means you're not agreeing. In Arabic, it's different. If you say yes, it means you're not agreeing. Okay, so Ibn al-Ajurrum, he says that there are 4 places for the Dhamma to appear. The first of them, Al-Ism al-Mufrad. Al-Ism al-Mufrad. The Shaykh is going to give us examples for all of these. Al-Ism al-Mufrad, the Shaykh is going to explain to us that it refers to an ism which is speaking about one person, one individual, or one thing. طيب ما دل على واحد أو واحدة. Here the Shaykh says it here. ما دل على واحد أو واحدة. عفوا أخي الكريم نهال, the fa, I didn't really touch on the meaning, but it's what is known as the jawab of amma. Meaning that when you say amma in a sentence, amma ba'ad or amma dhamma, as for what follows, or as for the dhamma, that when you begin to speak about it, then you start by saying fa. And if you hear someone that says amma ba'ad inna ashdaq hadith kalam Allah, he was probably absent that day when the teacher taught him that lesson, taught the rest of the class the lesson. Or he was there but he didn't get it and he didn't ask. So jazakallah khair for asking. So when you hear someone say amma ba'ad, you should expect to hear fa straight after it, because fa, that letter there, is the beginning of is the indication that this is the beginning of the jawab of amma. Okay? Because you said, as for what follows, amma ba'ad, فَإِنَّ أَصْدَقَ الْحَدِيثِ كَلَامُ اللَّهِ. Usually in English they say then. Allah knows best whether that's the correct usage of then. At this place I don't particularly agree, but English-speaking brothers, they try to add some type of a representative of that fa, and they couldn't really find anything beyond then, and it stuck, kind of like stuck. So everyone's using then, you know. And Allah knows best whether that's supposed to be used at that stage, that particular point, or not. In any case, in Arabic, it's the jawab of amma, and it's used to separate between that first part of the sentence and that which follows after it. The clear example, amma ba'd فَإِنَّ أَصْدَقَ الْحَدِيثِ. طيب. This is a small point, a side point. It's not major, inshallah, but it's good to know. So, the first of the 4 categories of asma, the first of the 4 categories where not of asma, the first of the 4 categories where the al-alamat al-asliya, which is the dhamma, will appear, is al-ism al-mufrad. Shaykh al-Uthaymeen says, meaning ما دل على واحد أو واحدة, something which proved which indicated that something is one. Mufrad, singular. طيب. The examples will go to later. Singular noun, أحسنت. Then he says, وجمع تكسير. This is all Ibn al-Ajurrum. وجمع تكسير. طيب. جمع تكسير. Anything which is جمع, it's neither mufrad, which is singular, or مثنى, which is dual. In the Arabic language, you have a word which is used for singular, you have a word which is used for two things, then after that you have al-jam', plural, three and more. And then the three or more, the jam', you have two types of jam'. You have jam' which is salim, where the original word is untouched and unscathed, but you add a waw and a noon, in the case of a mudhakkar kalima, or the masculine word, and you add an alif and a ta in the case of a word which is feminine. You don't change the word around. Or you change the word around, and this is called jam'a taksir. Let me just summarize that again. In the Arabic language, you have the ism is of three categories. Ismun mufrad, ism muthanna, ism jam'. Ism mufrad, ism muthanna, ism jam'. So, the jam', mufrad we know it means one thing. The muthanna we know it means two things. Dual. And the jam' is three or more. Now the jam' can be expressed in the Arabic language. Some words, like Muslim, is one Muslim. But jam' Muslimuna, the original word doesn't change. So this is called jam' mudhakkar salim. Jam' mudhakkar as-salim. The jam' over here is salim, meaning the original word has not changed. Then you have another type of jam' which is called taksir. Now the original word has been shuffled around. The letters are still being used, but it's being shuffled around. So, for example, baytun, house. Buyutun, not baytuna. Muslimun, muslimuna. When Muslim still stays the same and waw and noon has been added, so it's salim, unchanged, just added with jam' for two letters. But baytun, the jam' is not baytuna, it's buyutun. So there has been some change in the order of those letters, or the way that the letters are built up. Another example from Abu Abdullah Ahsant, rajulun, rajulun is singular. It's not rajuluna, which is the jam'. No, it's rijalun. So the formation, the original word has changed. The formation of the original word has changed. That's the second place of jam', of the second place where the alama asliya will be used. Jam' taksir, the alama of rafa' is going to be dhamma. And talib and tullab. Jazakumullah khairan. The third example is jam' al-mu'annath al-salim. Jam' al-mu'annath al-salim. Just now, I gave you a brief introduction of the three types of words. What are they? Mufrad, singular. Secondly, very quickly brothers, because we're running out of time, Muthanna, which is for two things. And the third one, Jam', assent. And then we said Jam' has got two types. Jam', assent. Jam' has got two types. One is Salim, assent. And the other one is Taksir. Jayyid. Salim and Taksir. Alas, Salim means the original word stays the same, you just add a couple of letters at the end to make it into Jam', like for example, Muslimuna. And the other one, Taksir. And that has different things like the examples you brothers mentioned, Rijal, Rijalun, and Tullabun, Buyutun. طيب. Then Salim, my brothers, Salim has got two types. Mudhakkar Salim and Muannath Salim. Okay? Salim, Jam' Salim has got two types. Jam' Mudhakkar Salim, which is the masculine words which are Salim, like Muslimun, Muslimuna, and Jam' Muannath Salim, the feminine words which are Jam' Salim, like Muslimatun, Muslimatun. You just added alif and ta at the end. طيب أحسنتم. سيارة, سيارات, بقرة, بقرات. You added alif and lam. So Ibn al-Ajurumi says the third type of word which takes the alamatul raf' al-asliya, which is the dhamma, is jam' muannath salim. And why didn't he include jam' mudhakkar salim? Why didn't he include jam' mudhakkar salim? Does jam' mudhakkar salim take dhamma at the end of it as a sign of rafa'? No, it doesn't. It takes not the noon Hussein, but it takes, as the other brothers are saying, it takes the waw. Muslimuna. The waw is the alamatul al-rafa'. Niyabatan al-dhamma. Sahih Hussein. Niyabatan al-dhamma, but not the noon. It's actually the waw. The noon is alamatul rafa' in fi'al madari. Allah barak fikum. And there was something, a comment that was just made, I wanted to touch on it. It's a good comment. Yeah, alif and lam. No, alif and lam, no. Alif and lam, this is not what we are referring to here. I can't remember why that came up. طيب. The last one, Ibn al-Ajurumi says, الفعل المضارع الذي لم يتصل بآخره شيء. Oh, I said alif and lam. My mistake, أخي نهال. I don't know why I said alif and lam. I should have said alif wa ta. جزاك الله خير نهال. If I said alif and lam, meaning adding for jam' muannath salim, you're adding alif and, no alif and lam, you're adding alif and ta. Example, muslimatun. Should be muslimatun, that's mufrad. Then jam' muslimatun, alif and ta. Good, well done. Thanks for pointing that out. So it's not, I made a mistake by saying alif and lam. Brothers asking, yeah, some words have a salim version and they also have a taksir version for jam', isn't that so? I believe so, and I can't think of an example, but I believe that's the case. And if you have an example, you're welcome to mention it, inshallah. طيب. The last one, Ibn al-Ajurru, he said, الفعل المضارع الذي لم يتصل بآخره شيء. فعل المضارع that has nothing added to it. Nothing added to it, meaning no ضمير. جوابات. I don't know about the jawab and ajwaba and jawabat, but you reminded me of su'al, as'ila and su'alat. Yes. Su'al, as'ilatun and su'alatun. That's there. Jawab, ajwaba and jawabat, Allahu a'lam, I don't know. طيب يا إخوة, these are the four places where the asli sign is going to come on. Alright? Which is the dhamma. They are the ism mufrad, jam'u taksir. That's one. That's number. It's supposed to be a 2. Jam'u wala salim. 3. And الفعل المضارع الذي لم يتصل بآخره شيء. فعل مضارع that has nothing added to it at the end. جيد. For example, the waw and the noon for jam'. بارك الله فيكم. I think we're going to stop there because that's 55 minutes. We've passed over our limit. The plan was to add 10 minutes to your class to make up for missing Sundays. So 40 minutes will become 50 minutes. And then we stop there from the actual teaching and give you guys a chance to ask any questions if you have. And then we round off the class, inshallah. And so we stop there and continue from that place. The examples of these four things. Shaykh will give us an example tomorrow, inshallah. Wallahu a'lam wa sallallahu wa sallam. Not tomorrow, next week, inshallah. Wallahu a'lam wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.